everyone, welcome. Here we uncover the real stories behind your favorite reality stars. Today, we're diving into one of the most shocking celebrity splits of 2025, the divorce of Zach and Tori Roloff from Little People, Big World. Yeah, you heard that right. Due to family disputes, they are officially divorced on 25th July 2025. And finally, Zach Roloff married her secret girlfriend Emma. Because Emma agreed to pay off Zach Roloff's secret $1 million debt, Zach Roloff decided to marry her, and Zach divorces Tori. Zach Roloff has been secretly in a romantic relationship with Emma for the past 1 year, right under everyone's noses. This isn't just tabloid gossip, it's a story of love, betrayal, financial ruin, and second chances. To understand the depth of the fall, we must first remember the height of their ascent. Zachary Roloff and Tori Patton met in 2010. Their connection was immediate and was captured for the world on their family's hit show, Little People, Big World. Tori, a bright and charismatic educator, seemed to bring a sense of calm and stability to Zach's life. Their shared experience of dwarfism created an instant bond, but it was their genuine affection for one another that made them fan favorites. Viewers watched, often through tears of joy, as Zach proposed on the pumpkin patch that made his family famous. Their 2015 wedding was a televised event, a fairy tale moment that felt like a victory for everyone who had rooted for them. They built a family, first Jackson, then Lila, and finally Joja. Their social media presence was a curated gallery of pumpkin patch visits, cozy home moments, and playful challenges. They were with #couplegoals, #RoloffStrong. But even in the most pristine public image, cracks can begin to form if you know where to look. Fan comment 1. Anyone else get a weird vibe from Zach and Tori in the last season? They just don't seem as connected. Fan comment 2. Tori's been posting a lot of me time stuff lately. Girl, are you okay? Notice Zach is never in the background of her stories anymore. Are they even living together? In the year leading up to the divorce, astute fans began to notice subtle shifts. The joint social media appearances became less frequent. Tori's captions took on a more introspective, sometimes melancholic tone. Zach, who had always been somewhat reserved, seemed to retreat further from the public eye. The official line from the family was that they were simply busy, focusing on their children and navigating the pressures of life in the spotlight. But as we now know, the truth was far more complex and infinitely more painful. The irreconcilable differences did not simply emerge from the stresses of parenthood. They were personified. Her name was Emma. Our investigation, based on information from multiple sources close to the situation, paints a picture of a meeting that would change everything. In the spring of 2024, Zachariah Roloff was introduced to a woman named Emma Greenwood at a private industry-only event in Portland. Emma, 32, is not a reality TV star. She is a successful, albeit notoriously private, venture capitalist with a portfolio in tech startups. She is of average height, strikingly ambitious, and, according to those who know her, fiercely intelligent. The connection, we are told, was not immediate romance, but a meeting of minds. Zach, who has always had a business acumen and an interest in ventures outside the family farm, found in Emma a sounding board he felt he was missing. A source tells us. Zach was always frustrated with the TV guy label. He had ideas, ambitions beyond the show. He felt stifled. Tori was amazing, but her world was teaching and the kids. Emma spoke his language. She talked about equity, investments, market trends. It made him feel powerful, seen in a new way. What began as informal business advice sessions over coffee quickly evolved into something more. They shared a passion for sports, specifically soccer, and began meeting for games. The meetings moved from public cafes to more discreet locations, private clubs, out-of-the-way restaurants, and eventually, we are told, hotel rooms. For a full year, Zach Roloff led a double life. To the public and to his wife, he was the devoted father and husband. But in the shadows, he was cultivating a deep and secret romantic relationship with Emma Greenwood. The affair was meticulously hidden. They used encrypted messaging apps, paid for everything in cash to avoid a paper trail, and according to one source, Emma would even use a different car, a less conspicuous sit-in, when meeting him, leaving her luxury vehicles at home. But why would Zach Roloff, a man who appeared to have a loving family and a successful career, risk it all? The answer, we have discovered, lies not just in the allure of a new romance, but in a terrifying and secret financial abyss. Beneath the surface of the successful TV personality was a man facing financial ruin. According to documents obtained by our investigators and corroborated by two independent financial sources, Tori Roloff had accumulated a personal debt exceeding $1 million by early 2024. How did this happen? Our sources indicate a perfect storm of misfortune and misjudgment. First, the volatile nature of reality TV. While LPBW was a hit, contracts change, and spin-off opportunities for Zach and Tori had not materialized as hoped. Their income was strong, but not infinite. Second, and most significantly, a series of disastrous private investments. Zach, eager to build wealth independent of the family brand, poured significant capital into a number of high-risk ventures. These included a tech startup that failed to launch, a cryptocurrency investment made at the absolute peak of the market just before a historic crash, and a real estate deal that fell through at the last minute, costing him a massive non-refundable deposit. A financial advisor close to the matter, who spoke on condition of anonymity, stated, "It was a classic case of someone with a sudden influx of capital not getting the right guidance. The investments were speculative, not strategic. He was chasing a big score, and he got burned. Badly. The debt was private, loans from investors rather than banks, which meant high interest and aggressive collectors. Zach was drowning. The pressure was immense. He had a massive mortgage, 3 children to provide for, and a lifestyle to uphold. Most devastatingly, we are told he hid this catastrophe from Tori. The shame and fear were too great. He believed he could fix it, dig himself out, before she ever had to know. It was in this state of desperation and vulnerability that his relationship with Emma Greenwood evolved from a secret affair into something far more transactional. As Zach's financial anxiety peaked, Emma Greenwood became his sole confidant. She was not just a lover. She was his escape from the terrifying reality he had created. And then, we are told, she presented a solution. According to a source with direct knowledge of the conversations, Emma approached Zach with an offer. She would liquidate a portion of her own extensive investment portfolio and pay off his entire $1 million debt. She would clear the slate. But this astonishing act of generosity came with 2 profound conditions. First, he must leave Tori. He must end his marriage and commit fully to a future with Emma. Second, their relationship would no longer be a secret. Once the divorce was finalized, they would marry publicly and quickly. It wasn't presented as a cold transaction, at least not how Zach told it. She framed it as her investment in their future. She said she couldn't build a life with a man who was financially beholden to others and emotionally tied to another woman. She was offering him freedom from debt, from a marriage he was clearly unhappy in, and in return, she wanted security and commitment. For her, it was a logical proposition. Zach Roloff now stood at a crossroads. On one path, confessing everything to Tori, facing the humiliation, the likely divorce, the financial ruin, and the potential collapse of his public image and career. It meant starting from scratch, bankrupt and alone. On the other path, a clean financial slate, a life with a woman who represented power, sophistication, and escape from his problems. It meant betraying the mother of his children, but it also meant security. Sometime in late June 2025, our sources indicate Zach made his choice. He chose Emma. The execution was by all accounts brutal. In early July, Zach sat down with Tori and told her he was leaving, According to sources close to Tori, he did not reveal the full truth. He spoke of growing apart, of being unhappy, of wanting different things. He made no mention of Emma. He certainly made no mention of the debt. Tori was blindsided and utterly devastated. She had, by all accounts, no idea her marriage was in any real danger. She pleaded, she asked for counseling, for time, for the sake of the children. But Zach's mind was made up. The deal was already struck. He moved out of the family home immediately, renting a luxury apartment in Portland that sources confirm was paid for by Emma. The official announcement from their publicist was sterile and brief, asking for privacy for the sake of the children. But behind the scenes, the legal machinery was grinding into motion. Lawyers were hired. Assets were assessed. The divorce proceedings were swift and, we are told, fiercely contentious once Tori's legal team began to dig. On July 25, 2025, the divorce was officially finalized. The terms are sealed, but we understand the custody arrangement for Jackson, Layla, and Josiah is shared, with Tori retaining primary physical custody of the children at the family home. It was during the discovery process of the divorce that Tori's attorneys, we are told, began to uncover the discrepancies, the hidden debts, the mysterious payments from a third party that wiped them clean. The paper trail, though obscured, began to point toward Emma Greenwood. A source close to the divorce proceedings stated, "It was a bloodbath. The moment the financials were pulled, it all started to unravel. You can't just make $1 million in debt disappear without a trace." When Tori found out, not just about the affair, but about the money, that it was essentially paid for, that was the point of no return. Any amicable co-parenting they might have had was destroyed in that moment. The betrayal was now complete. Not only had her husband had an affair, but he had effectively sold his freedom and their marriage to another woman. In the wake of the divorce, the two parties could not have presented more different public faces. Tori Roloff has retreated from the public eye, focusing solely on her children. Her social media, once a vibrant diary of family life, is now a quiet space dedicated to her kids and subtle messages of resilience. She has not spoken a word against Zach publicly, a testament to her character and her desire to protect her children from further pain. But those close to her say the wound is deep and transformative. Friend of Tori's. "She is the strongest person I know. But this broke her. To find out it was all a lie, that your life was a business deal for someone else. She's grieving not just the marriage, but the person she thought she married. Her entire reality was rewritten." Meanwhile, Zach Roloff and Emma Greenwood have stepped out of the shadows with stunning audacity. Just days after the divorce was finalized, they were photographed together, no longer hiding. Emma, sleek and confident, stared directly into the camera lenses, a woman fully in control of her narrative, and now of Zach's. Weeks after his divorce was finalized, Zachariah Roloff proposed to Emma Greenwood. She'd, of course, accepted. The ring, estimated by jewelers to be worth over $200,000, is a statement piece. It signifies a new chapter, one defined by opulence and a clear break from the past. But what is the true nature of this union? Is it a love story born from a secret connection? Or is it the finalization of a business deal, a debt paid, a payment collected? Psychologists we spoke to suggest it is likely a complex and potentially toxic combination of both. Dr. Ilara Vance, on one hand, you have an individual who was rescued from immense psychological and financial pressure. The feelings of gratitude and relief can easily be mistaken for, or even transform into, love. He may see her as his savior. On the other hand, the power dynamic in this relationship is profoundly unequal from the very start. She holds all the cards, the financial power, the leverage of the secret she helped keep. This creates a foundation not of partnership, but of dependency and control. It is a very fragile basis for a marriage. The wedding, we are told, is planned for before the end of the year. It will be a small, private, and exceedingly secure affair. No Roloff family members are expected to attend. The ripple effects of Zach's decisions have torn the Roloff family apart at the seams. The long-standing, on-again, off-again tensions between Zach and his father, Matt, over the future of the farm are now a permanent chasm. Jeremy and Jacob Roloff are said to be firmly on Tori's side, cutting off contact with Zach. Amy Roloff is reportedly heartbroken, caught between a love for her son and a deep affection for Tori and her grandchildren. The family farm, once the symbol of their unity, now stands as a monument to their division. The future of Little People, Big World is in grave doubt. How can a show built on family continue when the family is irrevocably broken? The audience's sympathy lies overwhelmingly with Tori, and the idea of watching Zach build a new life with the woman he left her for is a narrative few are willing to follow. So what is the true cost of a secret? For Zach Roloff, the price of hiding his financial despair was his family. The price of solving it was his marriage. In exchange, he gained financial freedom and a new partner, but at the cost of his reputation, his relationship with his extended family, and the unwavering trust of his children, who will one day learn the full story of why their parents divorced. For Tori, the cost was the life she knew and the man she loved. But in losing it, she may have discovered a strength she never knew she had. Unburdened by the weight of $1 million secret and a husband who chose to run from his problems rather than face them with her. The Roloff story is no longer one of little people living a big world. It is a cautionary tale about the corrosive power of secrets, the seductive danger of easy solutions, and the devastating fact that sometimes the most real-world drama doesn't happen on television. It happens behind the closed doors of the very families we thought we knew. More update. Tori Roloff has once again made headlines as reports suggest that she is pregnant with twin baby boys. This exciting news has sparked fresh interest among both fans and family members. On the other hand, Zach Roloff is reportedly preparing to move to Colombia, leaving many wondering what led him to make such a big decision. Recently, Zach and Tori also told his mom that they do not want to spend Christmas together this year,